And let me move to you, Dr. Akbar. If the future growth increasingly depend on skills, technology, data, mobility, and finance, how government can prevent narrow capture and ensure broad inclusion, particularly for young women and informal workers and small SMEs?
Absolutely. So it costs a lot of money, the social infrastructure that we're talking about here and social protection cost money. And African countries are already indebted to the brink and they don't have any fiscal space. But there is good news. Something needs to change in the way they conduct tax policies. I'm going to reiterate this and reiterate it until they get it. Taxing economic rents fairly while protecting investment is something I don't think they are doing. Many countries are doing. Maybe Morocco is doing it, Rwanda, maybe Ghana a little bit. But most countries on the continent are not doing that. When you tax what the economies create naturally, not what entrepreneurs create through innovation, talent, and effort. And we see the benefit of that is that it helps the government capture unearned gains rather than penalizing productive investment. If you look across the continent, the tax rates are already very high to elevated, but yet there are sectors where taxation is not going. Natural resource sectors are not taxed, and we understand the political economy of it is that those sectors usually have huge political influence. So that's why they don't want to tax the areas where they themselves are making rent, are grabbing from there. But if something needs to change, for the future, we will need to take a leaf from Norway, which taxes is petroleum resource rents, natural resource extraction, while maintaining strong investment incentives and stable fiscal rules, sovereign wealth savings. So instead of just consuming resource windfalls, we see that Norway transformed those temporary resource income into long-term national wealth. And African countries have opportunity here. Most countries on the continent possess minerals, oil, gas, and valuable urban land. Yet public revenue remains surprisingly very low for the various reasons that we know, or tax exemptions, weak administration, or corruption, illicit financial flows, and you name the rest. So if they can work on building systems to support transparent tax systems, strong revenue authorities, independent auditing, we will begin to see that those resource flows can be used to finance the things that we're talking about. Then also an area I mentioned about it, land taxation opportunity. Most urban land countries are not taxing urban land fairly. That's a huge potential. And I think the IMF and the World Bank are working with them because there are a number of things you need to do, like simply codifying naming streets and things like that, so that you'll be able to tax those areas and the diaspora, African diaspora, are investing hugely in real estate in their home countries. And those are sources of government revenue, real estate taxes. And the benefit of that is that nobody can hide it with land. You can't relocate it. You can't hide it offshore. And so the government have a huge opportunity. I have great hope that these areas that I've mentioned are areas that could be tackled and to provide the resources, the funding for social protection, and I call it social infrastructure, actually. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we